Arsenal injury, suspension list and return dates for Bournemouth Premier League clash, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard latest. Arsenal return to Premier League action on Saturday, as they host Bournemouth at the Emirates Stadium from match day 32. The North London hosts sit 9 points clear at the top of the English top-flight table, although second-place Manchester City have a game in hand, and the leaders have the opportunity to temporarily extend that advantage, with Pep Guardiola's men facing Chelsea a day later. Mikel Arteta's men head into the contest on the back of a late 1-0 victory over Sporting Lisbon in the first leg of their Champions League quarter-final, a result that served as the perfect response to their recent domestic cup setbacks. While Arteta was boosted by the return of Gabriel Magalhaes following an injury scare in the FA Cup defeat to Southampton, the Spaniard has fresh concerns after seeing 2 of his players forced off during the win at the Estadio José Alvalade. Here, SportsMole rounds up Arsenal's latest injury and suspension news ahead of their Premier League clash with Bournemouth, who played out a 2-2 to draw with Manchester United in their most recent outing. Leandro Trossard was considered a doubt for Tuesday's Champions League clash, but ultimately made the starting she. However, the Belgian was forced off in the 76th minute with apparent discomfort, and his availability for Saturday's game remains uncertain, with no clarification yet on the nature or severity of the issue. Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard appeared to pick up a knock during the win at Sporting, which saw him substituted in the 70th minute for eventual match winner Kai Havertz. While the 27-year-old was seen celebrating with teammates after the final whistle, doubts over his fitness linger ahead of Saturday's contest. Bukayo Saka did not travel with the team to Lisbon in midweek, having last featured in the EFL Cup final defeat to Man City 3 weeks ago, though Arteta has expressed optimism that Saka will return to action on Saturday. Jurriën Timber sustained an ankle injury in the win over Everton 3 weeks ago and has missed Arsenal's last 3 matches. The Dutchman was expected to travel to Lisbon, but did not, though Arteta hopes he will be ready for the weekend. Eberechi has suffered a calf injury in Arsenal's victory over Bayer Leverkusen in the second leg of their Champions League round of 16 tie. Initial reports suggested that the England international would be sidelined for 6 weeks, but the latest update indicates he could return in time for the quarter-final second leg against Sporting. Piero Hincapié picked up a muscle problem during the international break, forcing him to withdraw from national team duty prematurely, and the versatile defender is expected to miss Saturday's game once again. Mikel Merino continues to work his way back from surgery on a fractured bone in his right foot, and the Spaniard is aiming to make his comeback before the campaign concludes. Martin Odegaard appeared to suffer a knock during Arsenal's 1-0 win over Sporting CP in the first leg of the UEFA Champions League quarter-final. The Gunners' captain made way for Kai Havertz, who fired Mikel Arteta's side to victory at the José Alvalade Stadium on Tuesday night. Shortly before Odegaard was replaced by the match winner, he seemed to sustain a knee problem, which required on-field medical treatment. The Norway international was later taken off, but he didn't look to be in any discomfort. Odegaard was then spotted moving freely following the full-time whistle, celebrating the win with his teammates. Although the 27-year-old midfielder appeared to have shaken off the knock, Jesper Mathisen claimed that he wouldn't have gone down without reason. Speaking on Norwegian television channel TV2 after the game, the former Eliteserien defender reflected on the moment that Odegaard went down. Mathisen said, "Those are scary images, like watching a horror movie. A nightmare. He's not sitting down for no reason. It would have been a big loss for both Arsenal and Norway if he had to go out with an injury again." As it stands, the severity of the potential injury remains unclear, but Arteta may provide an update on Odegaard's fitness when he faces the press on Friday. The Spaniard will hope his skipper is fit to face Bournemouth at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Speaking to reporters in Lisbon, Arteta explained why he was delighted with his side's performance. The Gunners' boss said, "Extremely happy. Obviously, it was a big night, a big moment in the season. Especially where we're coming from. I think we had a point to prove. And yesterday, I talked about identity and the things that I wanted to see on that pitch. It certainly happened. Certainly, there was a shift there. And then we played our opponent. It's very tricky, very difficult to play. That's the reason why they won 17 games in a row here. They haven't lost for a long time and really had to earn it. We had moments of real dominance with a lot of situations in and around the box without creating enough threat sometimes. Lacking to be a bit crispier. The movement a bit sharper. The final ball. But we took the game where we wanted. But after saying that, we knew as well that it's a team extremely dangerous when they have space to run. And they have to situations where David Raya had to intervene in a brilliant way. And then, again, the story of the season. The finish is coming when the most important part of the game is about to happen, and then make the difference for us to go and win it. On Havertz, who came off the bench to replace Odegaard and fire Arsenal to victory, Arteta said, "He's lived it, he's been part of something, and that's a really important thing to have in and around the team."